Greetings from Mark's Saloon here. We're dressed for Christmas. It's almost Christmas. Not quite. We have potato chestnut soup in the freezer and butternut squash soup in the freezer, but really miss having some carrot ginger soup in the freezer. So we've been waiting for an opportunity to get that soup made and stick it in the freezer. So that's the goal for today, or hopefully not all day, but part of the day. So we start with carrots. I already cut them up to make it easy. And in here, just for reference, this is 4 pounds of carrots. So we'll give you the recipe verbally here with, and I don't peel them, you see, because that's just, I'm just way too lazy. If I'm going to make a soup and I have organic carrots, we put them right in. What is necessary to make this soup is quite simple, like the others. 1 onion, yellow or red. We prefer the yellows, but sometimes you run out and when you want to make a big portion, you need to mix them a little bit because you don't have all the yellows you need. That's fine. So 1 onion per each pound of carrots. So 1 pound of carrots, 1 onion, medium-sized onion. And then on top of that, you need, let's see here, you need, whoopsie. On top of that, you need, in here I have grated garlic, or chopped garlic, and that's actually chopped ginger and chopped garlic. So what you need is 1 pound of carrots, 1 medium onion. You need 2 tablespoons of, 1 tablespoon of grated ginger, 1, and 2 cloves of garlic per pound of carrots. So again, that's 2 cloves of garlic, 1 tablespoon of grated ginger, 1 medium-sized onion, 1 pound of carrots. So then you can just multiply up as you go. We plan to make 2 sets today, so we're going to make this pot and this pot with these carrots, so 2 pounds per pot there to make enough to put in the freezer. That should make about 1.5 gallons of soup. On top of that, what we need is some bouillon. We use this one. It's an organic, better than bouillon. We draw the line by making our own bouillon. It's just too much work for people that actually work already. So this is a pretty decent one. It doesn't have a terrible amount of ingredients, and obviously organic means no GMO. And so we make bouillon with this, and we're going to use 3 cups of bouillon per pound of carrots once again. So 3 cups of bouillon per pound of carrots, 1 medium-sized onion, 2 cloves of garlic, and 1 tablespoon of grated ginger. So that should make it pretty easy. So we're going to get that going in 1 pot. We're just going to show you 1 pot because it's just a little too complicated with everything here. So we're going to go ahead and use them for cooking. We use this ghee once again. It's a Indian clarified butter. The milk solids are gone, so if you're allergic to casein in the milk, you can actually often use ghee. We're not allergic to it, but we like the fact that this is organic and grass-fed. And it can handle high heat, this ghee. It's not like butter. It won't burn like butter, quite the same. So you can actually cook at pretty high heat with this stuff. So put a little bit of that in there. And you can buy it online. They send it to you. It's a pure, what is it? Pure Indian Foods. There's the logo. You can get small jars on Amazon, but just go straight to the company and pick up. They ship a couple of jars like this in a flat rate box. That's easy. For those of you who watch our other videos, I love my ghee. The cameraman. Nothing like some good saturated fat. Good oil for the brain. You probably won't hear your doctor saying that, but I'm saying it to you. Okay. So we are going to get this going, and I actually already chopped up onions today, so given we're doing 4 pounds of carrots, we have 4 onions chopped up here, so we're just going to take half of that for each pot and make that easy. So we saute the onions quickly initially, and then we add the other stuff in, and then it just cooks by itself. About half. It's great. It's a great dish. I mean, it's very easy. If you can't afford to make soup, hey, there's no excuse to go to McDonald's or eat junk food, because carrots and onions are some of the cheapest things you can find out there. A little piece of ginger isn't going to kill you, break the bank. Garlic is very inexpensive. What's left? Bouillon. So no excuse to not make healthy food, and this is easy to make. So we're gonna let this saute for a bit and get back to you when it's time to put everything together. Signing off from Mark Saloon. So the onions have been sauteing for a little bit now. These are pretty finely chopped, so they steam a lot. There's water, more water coming out than if you just chop them, but that's fine. It's a soup, folks. We're gonna blend it anyway. So if you have a machine that can chop these things, use a machine. Save some time. Okay, so here again, the garlic sits right here, so it's sort of dividing line right here. So I'm going to take half of that and put it in to this side, and half of the ginger, and then the other stuff we'll put in over here, which we have the other pot going over here in the back. Because if you're going to do this, might as well make a bigger portion while you're at it. And if you live in New York or another place with small spaces, I can't recommend highly enough getting some extra freezers. You can always find room for a freezer. You could hire a damn interior decorator to go in and find space for a freezer. It's worth it. It's worth the effort. We have three of these, one underneath the fridge and two separate freezers like that, and we wouldn't want to do without them. There's soup in there, coconut milk, almond milk, frozen. There's grass-fed beef. There's summer salmon, wild coho summer salmon in there. Grass-fed butter from summer season. No way I'd do without any of that. Okay, so here's the carrots. Now we're going to put half in here and half in the other one. Again, this is not an exact science, but this is roughly 2 pounds in each pot. Fortunately, the pots are about the same size, so you can sort of tell if you're halfway by telling how high up the stuff is. I'm going to put them in there. That's about even, I think. So then you just sort of stir it up a little bit here to coat them a little bit. We're going to be going on Amazon here very shortly to locate a couple of big, well, not big pots, but bigger pots for this purpose. Because guess what? I'm getting sick of this. We're going to get something that's going to work for this. And then Christmas present for the Mork Manhattan Homestead here, Mork Saloon. If you cook soup like this every month or so, you kind of need your stock pot. So stir this up a little bit here. There we go. But we're going to focus on this pot here because we'll take care of the other one after we're done with the video. So you just need to sort of stir it like that. That's enough. And then again, like I said, in a pot like each of these, we have 2 pounds of carrots now. That means it was 3 cups of bouillon per pound of carrots. So that means theoretically we need to put 6 cups of bouillon in here. We never have room for that because of our pot size. So we put in as much as we can fit, and then we add the water after the soup is done and we have more space. So don't count what I'm putting in right now. Just know that it's 3 cups of bouillon per pound of carrots. So this should take 6 cups of bouillon. So we pour the bouillon in. And this is actually double strength even, so I'm just going to add water now because we already have the bouillon in the mug. So I think we can put, what do you think?
Let's count them up.
We might be able to get pretty close.
I think we could get close.
Yeah. Some soups, there's no space for anything until you get done.
So let's see. 2 more cups there.
Yeah. So let's see.
Now we're up to...
We can put a little more liquid.
Yeah.
It's okay. One thing you can trust is your soup will never expand. It'll always reduce, if anything. So there's never a fear of things getting bigger. That works, so that's good enough.
Yep.
And again, we like to eat these soups with coconut milk, so that'll thin it out some, so I think we might have enough here. It could take like a little bit, maybe 1 more cup, but I don't know that we're going to add any more, so that's what we'll do here. So we'll just, well, where's the lid for this guy? We'll drop the lid on here, and then when we're done, we'll drop a little salt and pepper in there. I might add a little, well, we should add a little salt and pepper, I think. It'd be good to cook it in with everything else. Again, no exact science, and whenever you're dealing with bouillon, you have to salt it at the end anyway, because you don't know how salty it's really going to be until everything cooks together with the bouillon, so that's enough. We don't put herbs and things in these soups here. This particular one doesn't really. It's we cook it fairly neutral because we actually eat it with cayenne pepper and coconut milk and lemon zest and ginger, and it makes a nice flavor that way, so the soup itself is fairly basic. So we'll put the lid on that and let it simmer for, I would say about we'll probably check in about half an hour, because carrots take a little longer to cook than like potatoes. So about a ½ hour simmer, and then we'll check and see how it's going. You can use a fork and kind of check how it's going. So we'll try that after about a ½ hour. Signing off from Mork Saloon. Greetings from Mork Saloon again. So what do we have now? We have quinoa cooking over here. We're going to add a little cranberry to that. We have collard greens cooking over here. And then lo and behold, we have our carrot soup cooking here too. Might as well make use of all 4 burners at once. Am I being facetious? Kind of. So here we are. This is the mix. And they're feeling soft, but really the ultimate test for carrots, I find, is like a fork. If it meshes, it's good, right? So that's your demo right there. Soup's done. So we're gonna go ahead and let it cool off. Take the lids off, let it cool off, and then once it's cooled off, we're gonna get the immersion blender and get it blended up and put in the freezer. So, but it takes a little while to cool it off, and you really don't want to be putting an immersion blender in a hot soup, because God knows what might happen if something doesn't quite go right. So that'd be a bad burn. So lids come off, the burners get turned off, and we'll get back to you guys when it's cooled out. See you then. Okay, so we are now ready for the final step in the soup making here. The pot is cool enough that we won't hurt ourselves should we have a immersion blender accident. The key with these immersion blenders again is, this is what they look like in the bottom. Little blade spins around. And so you kind of want to make sure that you keep this machinery down where things are liquid. The moment you start to lift this thing up and start to create funny hydraulics, you're going to have some splashing going on, which is, it's not a good thing unless you like to clean your kitchen. So don't do that. Keep this at the bottom at all times. If you're not familiar with your immersion blender yet, just sort of do it in some water or something, kind of get familiar with it before you have added with this stuff. So anyway, you can get them with different speeds and things. This isn't really fancy, but it does the job very nicely. And sometimes if you tilt it a little bit right, sitting right in the middle, you can get kind of a little vortex effect going, and that makes it easier. So probably depends on the blender too. But anyway, we're going to be quiet now because we can't speak over the noise of this machine, so you can just observe and see what goes on. There we go. One of the healthiest, cheapest soups you can possibly make. Lots of beta carotene, you get fiber obviously. Get your onions, which are good sulfur vegetables, cheap. All good. This is an alkalizing dish for those who are into acid alkaline thinking. We are. It's great. So, the thing to remember with this stuff is that when you start, this is sort of a very basic soup. We don't create a lot of flavor in there because when we serve this soup, this is actually pretty important because it's good now, but it's on the plain side of good, right? So what you want to do is put, and this is fairly thick too, which is okay. So you take some of this, put it in a bowl, and then on top of that you'll put, you can put half and half, although we tend to prefer coconut milk. Like just, you know, pour some coconut milk in. And then we put cayenne pepper in there to garnish it. Or do we? On this one we do. Yeah, we do. And then we add a little bit of lemon zest, like grate the rind on your lemon, little lemon rind. Grate it very finely, not shreds, but like in, you know, more mushy. Put some of that in there, lemon rind. And you can add a little fresh ginger if you like, but really the key to get this one kicking is some lemon rind, some coconut milk, and cayenne pepper. And just garnish your soup with that, mix it up until it's perfect for you, and you'll be surprised. You'll be amazed what carrots can taste like, because that's just unbelievable. We just got introduced to this soup not too long ago, and it's great. So have at it, enjoy, and well, Merry Christmas, I guess. It's 2 days, so why not? Signing off from Mark Saloon.